the piece of advice I give her is be patient. It's okay. It's okay that nobody believes in you, but be patient. Be patient because it's gonna be worth it.
All
Okay,
right, we're back.
sorry, I tried hanging up the call and then it like took me out completely. So I was like,
No,
oh.
you're good. You're good. No worries. Okay,
Um.
so I'm gonna let you kind of go back into what you were saying.
Okay. So I basically just joined the gym in the South Side, and um, from there I just ended up falling in love with the sport. Like I never hit a bag the first few days. Like it was just shadow boxing fundamentals and getting everything down right, you know.
Wow.
And so I loved it. And I was there for like hours and hours and hours, and that gym was super hot. And if you're from Laredo or you're just from the south side of Texas, like it's hot down here, you know, like 101, 108, 115 all year round. Like
Crazy.
no winter.
Yeah.
Um, so it was very hot, and I just fell in love with that, and that just gave me this confidence to say like, dang, like I could really like protect myself, defend myself, which didn't happen. You know, like I was still getting jumped on, but because my grandma, my mom, the way they raised me to be was like, don't ever hit anybody, but like if somebody hits you, hit them back, you know, with reason. But I was always so
My
afraid to
mom
hit
was like
somebody
that
back.
too.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
always so afraid to hit somebody back because I was like, dang, like I don't want to hurt you. Like I don't know what you're going through, but like I don't want to hurt you type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to hit back, even though I was so mad. Like as growing up as a kid, like I had so much anger in me. Like, and here's why they call me La Traviesa, which was given to me by my grandma. I used to take it out on my brothers and my sisters. My brother and my
Mm.
sister. Um, so I always get them into trouble and like all this and that. I was doing a bunch of stuff just at home, like,
Mm.
and they'd be like, oh, like, and they couldn't do anything to me because of my mom. Like, I'm the youngest, so I was
Uh,
like, I was just like,
you got that
mom, like,
favoritism.
I can't do nothing. And so they'd be like, oh, like this poor little girl, da da da, and I'd be like, you can't do nothing. Like, I'm gonna get my mom. And so like it was just going on like that, and with time, like I ended up losing a little bit of weight. In that gym, and I would see all these guys like the competing team that they had in that gym like come in with medals and belts and trophies and all this and that, and that I would see them and I'd be like, yo, like these belts, these medals, like they're big, like I
Yeah.
want one, like I feel like I can get one, you know, like I just want to try it out. So I told my mom about it. My mom was like, but all right, okay, you know, no female has done it, you know, but she was like, all right.
Wow.
So we're gonna go speak to the coach, and the coach immediately was like, no, like absolutely not. You're a girl. Girls is like this is not your sport. You don't belong here. Like you don't belong in
Wow.
there. Like you're not gonna make it. And you're still pretty chubby. Like you're not at where you need to be. And I was like, dang, okay. And I'm like 9, 8 years old. So I was like, all
Oh
right, cool.
wow. Jeez.
That's cool.
That's pretty harsh.
Yeah. And so I was like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So then my mom was like, okay, like you'll see, she's gonna be somebody one day. And like at that time, like I didn't think anything of it. It was just my mom talking, you know, defending me. So I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But because of my health, like I needed to join other sports just to stay active. So, you know, that's what I did. I was in basket, I was in soccer, I was in all these sports, and I was really good. Like I was, I guess my mom would call me like the star player and stuff. And I kind of was in a way, but it was just a hobby. Like to me, it was just fun. Like I didn't really care about winning or losing. It was just like I enjoyed doing it. And so
Yeah.
my mom saw that, and she would be like, "Let's go to these camps and let's do this, and you know, so you can get better." And I was like, "Nah, like I don't want to. Like I'm cool. Like I'm already good. Like I don't want to excel." And you know, so then she ended up finding another gym up north from my city, and I joined in their teenage classes, and I was one of the two girls in that class, and there was the rest were guys.
Wow.
So at this point, I was about 10, 11, I think, and then from sparring, you know, all these guys, and I went to sparring no guys because nobody wanted to get in the ring with me anymore. Like,
Wow.
um, they wanted to beat up, come out with like bloody noses, bloody lips, bruised eyes, or anything like that. So
Jeez.
it was like, dang, like you don't got nobody no more, girl. Like, so
Too
my
good.
coach, yeah, yeah. So my coach just kind of like saw something in me before I ever did his stuff, because you know competing was already out the way. So I was just glad to be boxing again. And so he asked me like, "Do you want to compete?" And I was like, "No way." I was like, "Yeah, shoot, yeah, like let's do it." And so since then, like I've been with them through everything since then. And like now I'm 21, so it's been about 10 years since I've been with them.
Wow. So you really have like that underdog story, which is crazy to see where you came from and why you started. And then now you're an Olympian. So
Yeah,
talk to me about that a little bit because that doesn't happen like that for everybody, obviously. Like most people just can't go into a sport and then all of a sudden become an Olympian. You also made history. So how was it, getting that I guess first of all, because I know you had to qualify and everything else, but how was the journey to
man,
becoming an Olympian? Because I know it's not. Look, I've never come close, you know, but I can only imagine not only just the physical, energy that you have to put into it, but also the mental and the sacrifices. So can you kind of tell us about your journey getting to Paris?
for sure, man. It was a rough road. Like everybody, I guess, in social media and like platforms and stuff like that, like only sees like the good parts, like the great parts, but nobody really sees like the work, the grit, like the tears, the literal blood it took to get to where one person is at.
Right.
So me, like, first of all, my journey just getting on the team was hard. Like I was getting rejected, the selection process and this and that, and I just kept telling
Mm-hmm.
myself like, nah, like it's gonna come. Like I gotta do this. Like it's right there. It's at the tip of my tongue, at the tip of my fingers. Like I can't lose this opportunity. I was like, it's gonna come. It's just I gotta go through these small bumps, but I'm gonna learn. And so through those bumps, through those obstacles I had to face, like I kept learning, I kept getting better and stuff like that. And it wasn't pretty, like I kept getting judged. I kept, I lost people, I lost friends, I lost family, along the way. And like I had to kind of make my circle very, very small in order to get to where I'm at, just kind of be by myself and stuff. And so I got on the team, make it, and I start medaling, and then I don't, and it's just a rough, you know, journey between me and the team now from there. And
Yeah.
so after that, last year, no, 2 years ago, on our way to qualify the Pan Ams in Santiago, Chile, um, we went on this European tour. I went nationals, make the team, get the selection. Okay, February, March, April, and I think till May, we were out the country, just flying from country to country, country to country, all over Europe, and
Mm-hmm.
we're doing training camps and fighting. We had 3 tournaments. Out of those 3 tournaments, I came out with 2 bronze and no win, and I was so disappointed. Like I was so disappointed because I was always the one who kept getting bronze out of the team.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like what's going on? Like why is nothing coming out right? And every time with between those little breaks that we could come home to our families, that was like 2 weeks, a week, 3 weeks. Like I wasn't coming home. I
Oh
was moving straight to
wow.
my coach's house and going straight into camp. From
Mm-hmm.
5 a.m. morning training practices to 9 a.m. and then in the evening for boxing. Like that was my life. Like I needed to get better. I had to go, and I wasn't about to let it slip away. Like I couldn't.
Absolutely.
So I was literally like, there were so many times I could have given up. There were so many times I was on my knees and I was like, why am I doing this? Like for what? But I had those real close people in my circle and in my life that were like, Jen, like push, it's right there. Like don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. And so I kept losing and losing and losing, past loss after loss after loss. Like, it takes a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
But after
Yeah.
each loss, like you learn. And I kept getting better fight after fight, and I kept learning about the weight cut and my body and like what I need to do and like mentally and stuff like that. So I kept getting better and better, and finally, I hit my peak. We went to this camp in Great Britain, and I'm messing up these girls and stuff like that. Like, and that's where I was like, okay, but that's not enough. Like, I still
Mm-hmm.
thought I wasn't enough, and so at this point, I'm like, I need to do whatever it takes to like make it. I need to qualify now. Like I can't qualify in these other ones. Like I need to qualify now.
Yeah.
And so Chile comes. I'm on way. I feel good. And so I face Ecuador first round, and I'm nervous because, and not because I was scared, nothing like that. Nervous that if I made the fight close, it was not gonna go my way because that's usually how it is. They tell you like you're down the first round, like you're less probable that you're gonna take the fight. I was
For
like,
sure.
man. So boom, I get in there first round, I'm down by a point. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, like this can't happen. But I don't freak out. Like I had been working on that. So I don't freak out. And I'm like, all right, change the game plan up. Like, did I really work this hard just to come this far and like lose today right now in front of like thousands of people? Or am I gonna push through and take that dog out in me, like that little person in me, like that's been working from the age of like 9 to 8 to now, like it's gonna see like damn, like we made it. So from that
Absolutely.
moment on, I was like, nah, we gotta turn up a switch. And second, third round were all mine.
Wow.
Next, I end up facing Venezuela. I end up facing Venezuela, and that was a tug of war. Like I had taken, I think, the first round, or she took it. I don't remember, but I think I was down. Second round, I think I took it. Third round, I definitely took. And I just remember like the crowd being against me so bad, like being Venezuela,
Oh
Venezuela. And I
man.
couldn't hear my corner, I couldn't hear my people, I couldn't hear nothing. But I just remember going into that third round before I got up my seat. The assistant coach TJ right next to me, he pushes me down and gets my shoulder. He tells me to look at me. He's like, "I'm sorry for my French and my cussing
No,
right now, but this is
you're
specifically for
good.
coach."
Good.
He was like, Jen, this is the last fucking round. Like it's either now or never. You're really gonna let like this bitch take everything that you worked for, every loss, every time you were on your knees. Like you're gonna let her take this shit from you. Like it's either now or never, Jen. Like you take this shit out. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. Now I was tired. I was beat. My body was hot. Everything. And I was like, you know what? Nah, like fuck that. Like ain't nobody go
Got
through
one
what I
chance. This is your
ain't
chance. Yeah.
nobody like yeah. I was like, ain't nobody worked out as hard as me or done what I did to get to where I'm at right now. And
Mm.
this chick's not about to take that from me.
Wow.
So from that moment on, like third round, like I remember seeing my family from the corner of my eye with my little poster and like just cheering, and I could hear my mom, and I was like, all right, yup, like it's go time. Like I gotta show this woman why I'm here. Like I came here for a
Absolutely.
purpose. And so I turned up, and like everybody told me like after my fight, everybody was like, I don't know what you took, what you did in that third round, but man, you came out like that animal, like it was crazy. And I was like,
Wow.
screw it. I was like, I did it.
Man.
Then I fought Canada, and she was a favorite to win, not the tournament, but to beat me. And because she was a vet and she had, this experience, and I was the youngest one in the tournament in my weight class in that one. So I was like, dang, I was like, okay, I was like, all right, like I got something to prove. And then I win unanimous and I qualify.
Man.
And from there on, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like I just did this. Like that's crazy, man. And
Wow.
the first thing I did as soon as I got off, besides being shocked and like almost passing out, was I ran straight to my mama. I went
Oh.
straight to her and I gave her that golden ticket, and I told her, I was like, for this, mom, like for this exact moment, for this exact reason, is why I had to miss your birthdays, I had to miss my birthdays, I had to miss New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these holidays and important family emergencies that I had to miss out on because I was out working. I was out risking my life and sacrificing this and sacrificing everything that I
Girl,
could
you gonna
just
make me cry. Oh.
just to get you this ticket, mama. Like this is why. This is why I had to be on these diets, when this is why I couldn't go to parties, and this is why like I don't got no body now, mama. And she was
Wow.
just crying. And I gave her that ticket. And then after that, like I went to the back and everybody just crying and this and that. And I was like, damn, like this is crazy. Like I felt like I was about to pass out. Like they had to slap my arms a couple times and
Wow.
give me like loads of Powerade. Like it was crazy. And so that night, like I didn't sleep. I didn't go to sleep till probably when I had to rest. And weigh-ins were like at 6 a.m. So I had to be up at 4:45, 5:45. And I was like, just looking at that ticket, crying, like crying. And my roommate was asleep and stuff, but I was just like, man, like I did this. Like
You
this
made
is crazy.
it,
Like
man. Wow.
yeah. And then I went into that final, and I regret saying this, but I beat myself that last fight. Not just because I was tired. And I don't want to put that as an excuse, but because I got comfortable. Like, oh, okay, I got the ticket. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
And I knew I could have beat that chick, that girl. Like I knew I could have beat her. Um, and I just let myself down that day. So there's no excuses for that. And so I just kept getting better. Like after that, I came home. I had this big celebration, and all I wanted to do was get back to the gym. My friends had to come to the house, take my keys, and literally like hide them from me, cause so I wouldn't go back to the gym like right the next day, cause I was ready. I was like, nah, I need to keep working. Like
Yeah.
I need to get back at it. Like I can't stay like this. And they were like, Jen, chill, relax. Like you've been working for years, dude. Like you finally did the first step, but chill. Take a few days. Like
Yeah.
you're good. And so I was like, nah, you're right, you're right, you're right. And so I was, but as soon as I was ready to go back, I went straight back, started working on my skills, and same thing. Like as soon as I was, for the little bit of time that I was home, like I was straight at my coach's house. Never saw my family, nothing like that.
Wow.
And being home now, like I'm so grateful for my family. Even though yes, I did see them in Paris and stuff, but I'm so grateful to be home because I ain't been home like this since probably like February, January. Like
Wow.
I was always at my coach's house. I was never really out here. I never really saw him Sundays, nothing like that. And I was just
Wow.
focused. And even my sister's wedding, like I had my sister's wedding, and I had just come back from Thailand, and I had bad jet lag, and I fell asleep throughout her whole wedding. Like I was there for the reception and
Wow.
stuff like that, but I fell asleep. Like I was so tired because I was like from training and the travel and everything that I missed it, and I was like, man, like come
Wow.
on. So
Wow. You know
today,
what? I mean, first of all, wow. That is a journey. That's the journey that you see on the internet. It might be a quote, like, you know, you see the finished product on stage but not what's going on behind the scenes. So for you to be able to express that in the way that you just did, um being so young but having to sacrifice as much as you did, this is the things that I talk to athletes about all the time. Like, it's not pretty. Like, you might, you know, you might get some glory, you might get some fame or whatever is going to come with it, but what you have to do to get there, are you willing to do that? And
yeah,
you just proved to everybody that from 9 to 21, you did what it took. From losing friends, missing out on family events, you know, having to make your circle smaller, all the things that come with being an athlete. This is what makes greats. This is what makes somebody goes down in history, and this is what the little kids look up to and strive to be. So I feel like you literally answered like almost all my questions. Like you just went like super deep into your journey. So like I think the only, or it was actually maybe two I want to touch on really quick. But being, you know, someone who is on such a high level, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but you know, you eat different, right? There's different. You can't eat like everybody else. You can't go out and have 5 burgers or, you know, 5 smoothies or whatever like some people do. What are the 5 things that you feel that you actually consume on a daily basis that you think adds to your performance as a boxer?
to me, really, like that I eat, I guess I'd say the protein for sure. Like I used to be scared of protein because like it was a lot. Like there'd be a lot. It would be like this amount, and I was like, damn, I'm supposed to get full of like this amount of like protein. You're crazy, dude. And it'd be like 50 grams of protein. And I'd be like, nah, you're
Crazy,
crazy.
man.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that. No, I am. Like I love food.
Right.
Um, but no, for sure the protein, because now I've learned and like I've adapted with my body and stuff that like it keeps me full, but it also gives me that extra energy like to perform, and like whenever I need that extra push or like I'm cutting weight, like that'll for sure give me that extra energy like that I need. Um, and you know, just especially because once I eat, once I'm on my diet or whatever, I go into a very strict like calorie deficit. So I'll go from like
Mm,
regularly like maybe let's say okay, everybody, let's say on a general basis everybody eats 2,000 calories, right?
yeah.
Let's just say that. And so I'll go from like let's say 2,000 to immediate, not immediately but slowly and gradually, like probably the first week I'll go down to like 1,000 to maybe like 900
Oh
like per
man.
day. And then from that I'll go from 800 to about 600 a day. Like I'll stay there. So
Jeez.
600 to 800 calories I'll be consuming throughout the day, or if not, maybe a little bit less, maybe like five something to maybe 480, 440, maybe somewhere there,
Wow. How do
throughout
you
the
do
day.
that? Like,
It's
so
hard. It's
on those
hard,
days, what
bro.
do you eat?
Man, it's hard. So when I'm home, because you know, my coaches has her family and stuff, and well, their family and stuff. You know, they got kids, so they like I can't cook for myself like all the time, and
Yeah.
you know, I'll buy my own groceries and stuff like that. So my coach isn't buying everything for me, nothing like that. But I'll be going to the grocery store and putting it in her fridge and stuff like that, or in their fridge, and um, because there's so much groceries because of her kids or like their kids and stuff. They like, you know, if I get groceries, actual like meals for myself, it wouldn't fit, you know, and I'd be taking over a
Gotcha.
lot of the fridge space. So I mostly go off of a lot of what is it called, frozen meals.
Gotcha.
So a lot of like frozen meals type, but not just like, you know, hot pockets or like stuff like that. Like it's like the healthy life or healthy choice type of stuff, and you
Gotcha.
know, every calorie like is within a certain range, or like every meal is like for my lunch and dinner, like and breakfast. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
breakfast eater personally, so I don't really need breakfast, and it doesn't affect my performance or anything like that. So I'll basically fast like basically all morning, and then my first meal will be like lunch, and then I have a snack, and then I'll go to practice. I'll train, get out at about 8:30, maybe 9 p.m., and then head home to their house and have my dinner, and then from there like
Gotcha.
that'll be it.
Wow.
But for sure, like when I get into that cut, man, it's
I
hard. It is
can only
hard.
imagine because I love food too, so
Man, I
I
would. I
understand.
get cranky. I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, I'm reconsidering life, man.
I,
Everything. Like, I'm
I
a normal
bet,
person just like you. So if I gotta get on a diet, and you've ever been in a diet, man,
man.
and it sucks. Trust me, it sucks for me too.
Oof, I understand. No, that's good. That's great advice for the young boxers that, this is part of the journey. So if you're someone who has a certain diet or you never dieted before, it sounds like the cutting phase is gonna be rough, but you're gonna get through it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, like that first week, and then after that, you're like, oh,
You'd
okay,
be
it's not
like,
too bad.
I'm used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. So one other thing, that I wanted to just ask and get your opinion on, as again, a female boxer and someone who is competing at such a high level. When you were younger and even now, um, did you, when you were like shopping for like your equipment and your gear to prepare to start boxing and practice and traveling and all that stuff, did you find it difficult to find the things that you needed as a female boxer, or was it always pretty easy?
Um, I feel like it was pretty easy. I would just get a lot of looks. Like when I was buying stuff like that, like people would kind of give me a look like, "Girl, you bought a box? Like that's crazy." Or like it was
Wow.
just a certain type of energy like I'd feel like as I was buying my stuff and stuff like that. But finding stuff, nah, I always got stuff in like sizes of like boy sizes, because I grew up very tomboyish because I had to always like kind of
Me
grow
too.
up very rough. Like I didn't like
Yeah.
kind of that girly pink purple type of stuff. Like I was always like red, blue, black type of stuff. And
Got
like
you.
my coach could tell me when I first started, I used to wear these big basketball baggy shorts and like this big oversized tee like all the time. And I was like this tiny chick, like all stucky, like like that's how I used to dress. Like I was like I don't care, like no one's
He was
messing
like,
with me.
look, about to get the job done. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
So it
oh,
wasn't that hard, but it was just like the looks and like coming up, especially from a border town that has, and you know, growing up on both sides of the border, you know, Laredo and like here, the machismo is definitely real till this day. Like I know after my first couple wins of nationals, you know, I wasn't getting recognized. Nobody knew me. But as soon as like a couple boys would win nationals or whatever, it was like, oh my God, they're all over the newspaper and this and that. And I was like,
you know
yo,
how
I did this
that goes.
right there with them. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
So trying to fight that and like break that barrier mindset wise in my city, both of my sister cities, like, and picking up like just the like the way people think and like the way people can change their like their perspective and their journeys and stuff like that. That Laredo isn't everything that, because I grew up on a Saints that was like if you were born in Laredo, you're gonna die in Laredo, and if you leave, it's just to get back in and stay in the same routine because Laredo's so
Wow.
small and people
Yeah.
don't like change. They don't like new things and they'll complain about it. So it's very stuck in that old modern machismo time, especially
Mm,
the South Side. So growing up, like I did get asked like why you like what makes you think you're gonna make it far or like whenever I did start no when I didn't know about the Olympics because there's still to this day people in Laredo who don't know what the Olympics are,
wow.
who don't know anything else outside of Laredo and like San Antonio and like the Valley,
Yeah.
because it's such a small bubble. Um, and yeah, like it's just very conservative here. Like nobody likes change. Everybody likes their own routine, their same type of like same every day, this hour, this stuff, like that type of routine. And so
Mm,
I remember growing up, like I was like, I don't want to be like that because I would see friends that I'd lose to like in the streets or through stuff, just bad habits, and I was close to getting into those bad habits. I was surrounded by it all the time, but I remember I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be that stigma. I was in the South. I grew up in the South Side, and it was always like in middle school, elementary, high school, anywhere I could tell you if we had a rivalry game, it would get very intense between South Side and North Side. Like it was like screw these North Siders, like da da da, this and that. Like in the North Side,
that's
it was
crazy.
like, oh y'all are just all ghetto and like poor and this and that, da da da. Like it was war. Like we were so divided. And I remember growing up
Wow.
with it. And I remember I was part of that stigma. I'd be like, nah, screw y'all, like y'all got everything, like da da da. Case. And
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. I just got a phone call. I have to deny
No,
it.
you good. Um, and so yeah, like I just remember, the more I left out of states and the more I just saw of the world and cultures and stuff like that, I was like, yo, like this isn't like whatever we do back at home isn't normal. Like we're not supposed to be thinking like that.
Yeah.
So I just remember being like, who's gonna say what? Like who's gonna be the change, man? So
Mm,
I just decided to stick with that. I just promised myself since I was a kid, like I'm gonna be the change for my city. Like I'm gonna be, cause I would look at my little cousin and I was like, I don't want her to grow up like that. I don't want her to grow up with that mindset that it's just Laredo and it's just the streets. Like the streets is the only answer to make it out of here and just to be stable enough.
wow.
It's like, nah, man, like it's not cool. And to this day, like it sucks, like driving around the street or whatever, and seeing somebody who I was supposed to graduate with or who was supposed to be in my class, they come up to me, not even recognizing me, and like asking for money, and I'm like, damn, man, like,
Wow.
oh man.
Yeah.
And so it sucks. But yesterday and last night made me like the way they everybody welcomed me back into the city made me realize like how much of a change I'm making here in my city for younger generations, for women who are here, for adults and stuff like that. It made me realize how much of a big impact I'm making, and I couldn't be more proud of doing that.
Man. Jennifer,
Mm.
again, I did my research on you, so I already knew this was going to be like a really dope interview, but I didn't know it was going to be this dope. um, seeing, well, hearing, um, you kind of dive into, I feel like parts of your story that you might not talk about a whole lot, but the young generation needs to hear it, has been phenomenal. I'm 32 and you're an inspiration to me. Just hearing what you've been through, where you came from, the fact that you were, I guess people said that, hey, you can't make it, you can't do it, this isn't for you, and then you proved everybody wrong. You went through the heartbreak of, winning some, losing some, winning some, it just not getting there, and then you finally get there, and then boom, like now you're like this legend, right? The last question I have for you, and I want you to really think about this because you have given so many gems. But if there was a little girl out in Laredo and she said, Jennifer, I really want to be like you, but nobody believes in me. Everybody's telling me this is a guy sport. This isn't for me. Whatever it may be, I can't find the trainers. The trainers won't train me. What is one piece of advice that you would give her?
The piece of advice I give her is be patient. It's okay. It's okay that nobody believes in you, but be patient. Be patient because it's going to be worth it. Be patient because all of this that you're going through, all these negative thoughts, all these negative words that people are throwing at you and bashing you for, like, it's because they don't believe in you and because they couldn't do it. Absolutely. And it's because they don't see anything outside of that. And that's not their fault. It's just their culture. It's the way we are. And I definitely say, like, be patient because even though if she may or may not be religious, I'd say God's doing this for a reason. And absolutely. Don't waste your time trying to look for it. Just be patient. Keep working. Keep making sure your love and your hard work and your dedication to the sport is genuine and not forced. And I promise you, like, you're going to see results in no time soon.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Again, you are phenomenal. I can't wait to see what you do next. You're so young and doing so much. So I know I'm going to see you like all over the billboards real soon, even here in Atlanta. So again, congratulations on everything that you accomplished. Oh, by the way, I asked that question about the boxing. Like, did you have issues finding stuff? Because we're actually about to launch on August 30th, the world's first like Amazon/Etsy, but for female athletes.
Okay.
So it will be all things from like whatever you need in boxing will be in this place. It will be nutrition, hair products, supplements, whatever is all going to be in this place for people like you, for the athletes, because we need a place, right?
Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, so I definitely would love for you to check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. But again, thank you for taking out the time. I know you're tired. I didn't know that you just got off of a flight. I would have said, Jennifer, we can reschedule. So I really appreciate that.
So I was looking forward to this interview for a while. That's why, and I was like, man, like I already rescheduled like a couple times. I was like, nah, I gotta get it done. So nice.
Well, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. And look, we're gonna have another interview sometime in the future because I want to see what you do next. And I just we got to get you that one interview when like you just like pop off.
Okay.
And then like everybody's like, man, where did she come from? And you're like, man, I've been here. Like that's the interview that I want. That's the interview that I want. Okay.
I got you. Sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.